Hey, listen, someone told me that you didn't think you were enough. Let me tell you differently. You are enough. Now, we all have things to work on, but that doesn't mean that we're not enough. We just need to work on the things that we need to work on to perfect who we are, to improve on who we are, to bring forth all good things that we have inside of us to be utilized in such a good way. You are enough. Trust me. Let's talk about it. Hey, this is Deanna Inspires, and this is Inspired Perspectives. And we're gonna talk about things that inspire us, motivate us, heal, wellness, all of these great things. But today, we're talking about seven things. Seven. I'm gonna give you seven inherent things that's gonna help you know that you are enough. You are enough. Now, one of the first things to know is that, well, let's talk about this. Because this is a conversation. I'm never going to come across, I don't think I come across, at least I pray, and I am intentional on not coming across like I am holier than thou or self-righteous in any way. But this is definitely a space where you can glean something from what I'm talking about, from my experience, life experience, and experience as a life coach, and experience as a friend, a sister, a cousin, an auntie, a mother, those kind of things, someone who's been loved and is loved now, right? So, value. We hear about this thing called high value, just kind of been thrown around for a few years. It came out of almost nowhere. It seemed like it just came out of nowhere, like it was a definite agenda and propaganda to get us divided. So I'm here to close the gap on that divide. We do not get our value from just from the money that we have. We got some ding dongs right now running the earth who who have money. And does that equate to value when you don't have a connection to human life and what that means, and being able to preserve human life and those around us, and having connection and love and kindness? Yeah, so there's a different definition that the world has than what the Most High has. And what inherently most people, if you really have them think or talk about it, they would be like, wow, that is where my value lies. Not in the lies that have been given to us in this new definition of what value is. Your value is going to come from something more of your worth, your self-worth, right? and and what you put out there into the earth, your worth, your value is going to come from, let's just start. Number one, you're going to have inherent worth. Your inherent worth, is not about anything more than your value, and not a dependent on it's not dependent on the achievements and the money and the accolades. It has nothing to do with that. It is simply because you exist in this world. It's simply because you exist. You exist and you bring something good to your community. You bring something that others can benefit from. You have something in you, a gift or a talent within you, that brings forth something good, that changes someone's life, that improves it, to heal it, to, in words like being a shoulder to cry on, being a friend to listen, being someone who has a skill, who has something to offer. Someone's tree fell and you have a jigsaw, a saw, or whatever, and you're able to help them get that tree dismembered and put together for firewood, but you didn't charge anything, but it was just in your heart to do something good. It doesn't come at a cost to show your value, to know your worth, right? And the world has everyone thinking your worth is coming from your money and being a boss, being the boss, being a boss chick, and all of these things. And I'm not, I don't look down on anyone who has worked hard to achieve things financially. But at the end of the day, if those people don't have any other value systems that are put in place, they will only think that money is the true value of who they are and represents that. It has to be something else at the end of the day. You know how many millionaires and billionaires and celebrity types who have unalived themselves because they have their value wrapped in the accolades. They have their value wrapped in money. They have their value wrapped in what other people think of them instead of what they think of them themselves. And you have to definitely assess where your value is coming from and how you assign which value are you going to assign yourself. Now, the value of your personal self-worth, based on what I mentioned, is going to definitely be something that will carry weight in the long term. It's longevity on this. It is where no matter where you go on the earth, they'll be, oh yeah, that person is so good. I can't believe how grateful they are, how wonderfully, just so gracious. And so they will talk about your character traits over anything else. And that is going to set the value for, hey, I want you to come back. I want to invite you back to my island, to my home, eat with us, drink with us, connect with us. That's your calling card. That is the card that you want that lets you in the door. The second one is like your unique perspective. It's the viewpoint, it's the experience, it's the contribution that is the richness of the world, right? That is what you want. You want to be able to contribute. What is your unique perspective? Like what you bring to the conversation, what you bring into the room. Sometimes people bring that unique perspective in the room just by their presence because they have their whoever they are has gone before them, and people are like, oh no, they're good, they're great, oh my goodness. You may only have a penny to your name, but everything about you supersedes all of that. In fact, because of that, they're giving you things. They're helping you through, not because you're using them, it's because inherently you got something of value and of worth. You know your self worth. You can walk into the room knowing that, oh, I left my wallet. My goodness. But because you're good, they know that you're good for the dollar, for the money that you listen, don't worry about it. We got you because your character goes before you. Everything goes before you. You know, this is what this is where you bring in a perspective. You may bring a perspective based on like your experiences that nobody you have traveled many places and you have connected with many cultures. You have maybe mastered a few languages. That's a perspective. That is a perspective that has value and worth, right? So those things actually bring about more of an exchange than money could ever bring. So that's what you have to think about. Number three is growing in your learning, right? Like growth and learning. You are willing to adapt to everything around you. You have a strength that is, proving that you can evolve no matter where you are and what situation you are thrown into. You have that. You are able to evolve and adapt to everything. You're willing to read books. You're willing to listen to podcasts. You're willing to listen to, audio books. You're willing to learn. You're willing to sit at the feet of elders, like right here. I would consider myself an elder, someone with a life of experience, half a century. I got this. I got this, and I'm open to learn. See where my value continues to open and expand me because I'm not limited to knowing that I'm of a certain age that I have nothing more to learn. See, that's where your growth comes from. That's a growth mindset, that you're not so static and thinking, well, I've arrived. This is my great old age of whatever that age is for someone, and I don't need to learn anything more. Nobody can tell me anything. I got this. I can't learn from young people. They can't tell me nothing. And that is absolutely not true. If I did not take the time out to listen to my 15-year-old and listen to my 21-year-old cousin niece, right? I call her cousin niece because she's so close to me like that. And, being able to pour into her, but then watching them pour into me. I'm listening to them. I am learning from them because there are things that they have access to today that I'm not touching on, but they're cueing me in on what's happening and and I can then guide them when I need to. But sometimes it's a joy to know that they have grasped some of the things that we have, all of us have given her, the elders in the family have given her or them pieces of us. And it's just not these two. These are, a multitude of cousins. This is a village within, this is a small village within the massive village, but within my family circle, for instance, that's what we do. And I don't berate them for not knowing everything. I relish in the fact that they're asking questions and we allow them to ask questions. And they're setting up their value system, being able to know that they can come to us and ask questions and not be looked upon as if, oh, that's so crazy. That's stupid. That's whatever. There is never a stupid question. There's just a question. And sometimes people ask questions for clarity. So they are in a growth mindset to be able to learn and adapt wherever they go. Because that's for me, I would love to know that they've been places that they can adapt easily and not turn their nose up, but be open to learn everything about everything and everyone around them. So, number 4 is, I got my notes, right? Number 4 is going to be your connection with others, right? Your relationships that you build is an impactful thing. It's going to demonstrate the importance of the value you bring to their lives. You have to bring something. When people say, "Oh, bring something to the table," your connection. Yeah. How you connect with others. That's your value. You got people who are like a stone wall. They can't connect to save all right, we were talking lives about the connection and others. So basically, whatever relationships you build, that all of it is connected to your value and that you are enough. Some people have to work on just being able to show up for themselves. You show up for yourself. You show up in ways that you never thought you could. That because a lot of people are stuck in trauma and pain, hoping and wishing that someone around them will finally show up, and they're looking for anyone who will show up, and that is a sign to me of a little bit of lack, right? You were given everything you need, and unfortunately, as a full-on autonomized adult, you may not get that. You may not get the apology. You may not get anyone to show up and clap for you. You may not get anyone to come and stand beside you and stand near you and hold you up. You may not get that. But, baby, if you have the strength and you have the faith, you will be able to hold yourself up. And then I'm going to tell you, because of that value you have within yourself to hold yourself up and hold yourself accountable and responsible for you, people will show up. Miraculously, people will show up, and the right people will show up, not taken from you, but being able to give to you. You good? You okay? You need anything? I got you. Because your tribe will find you. They'll recognize who you are because you attract all kinds, but you will entertain who you are. Are we in agreement to that? Understand me. That is how this thing is. People call it law of attraction. Call it what you want. It is you showing up for you. So building those connections are so important with others, so that you offer something, you offer your worth, you offer your value, you offer who you are and all the skills and things that you have and your thoughts and your perspective on life. You bring all that to the table. Number 5 is self-acceptance. Man, if you don't accept who you are, if you don't, who's going to accept you? Who's going to love you better than you? Who's going to like you better than you? If you don't like you, who you think going to want to be your friend? Who do you think want to hire you? Who do you think want to love you in the way of marriage and having that true partnership? Who do you think wants someone who doesn't even like and accept themselves? Self-acceptance, right? Self-acceptance is everything. It's everything. It's proof that you like you just the way you are. We all need improvement. We all need to maybe lose some weight. Some of us maybe gain some weight. Some of us need to, stop talking so much. Some of us need to calm down. Some of us need so many other things. And there are small things that can turn into really big things. But the most important thing is the self-acceptance. And then when you can self-accept things. You can make changes when necessary. But most of all, you accept who you are. You embrace your flaws, your imperfections. You are completely self accepting, right? You embrace your personal happiness. Like, I walk in joy. People are going to talk about you no matter what, and you cannot let that hinder you from bringing forth something good and doing something that you've always wanted to do, and to be quiet when it's necessary, to shout out loud when it's necessary. All the greatness and the joy within. Who doesn't want to be around people who are happy and joyful? That's like being a child. I love seeing children. I like seeing adults just just not be so uptight. Someone who just belts out a song and just starts to dance. I delight in all those things because it brings joy, especially when they can sing, and especially when they can play an instrument really well. And if the two is coming together, then that's a wonderful thing. I enjoy that kind of thing. I enjoy seeing someone dance, and like no one is watching. I even if they can't keep you bringing something to the space is illuminating joy. It is illuminating happiness and stuff, and you're sharing it, and you're dancing like no one is watching. That to me is magnificent. It is great. I just love it when someone is comfortable with who they are and they are just expressing their little bit of joy. There's nothing wrong with that. And that is your self acceptance because you don't care what other people think. As long as you're not harming yourself or others, who cares? Let them sing, let them dance, let them play the instrument. You understand? I remember there was a piano that would be in the downtown area. There's kind of scattered everywhere, and someone would jump on that thing, and all kinds of music would come out of that because of someone's talent, a hidden talent. Maybe they played for a church. Maybe they were years of piano lessons, but they remember songs, and it just brings people joy. And then someone would join in with the song. Someone would have another instrument, and they would just have a whole like impromptu band, and it just brought a lot of joy, right? So those are things that you could bring. It's just something small like that, and it could be something of really great significance. Now, number 6, it is your contribution to society. It doesn't matter. Your actions, no matter how great, how big, or how small, can contribute to the community at large or within your family or on your block, right? It could be on your block, on your street, wherever you live, you're contributing in small ways or even big ways. So your contribution to society and to your community is beyond showcasing, you know, significance. Like it's showcasing your significance, right? Really, your greater significance to even a small level of significance, it is still contributing to your value and your worth because you are enough. You are enough. You see, it is those things that bring you your value and your worth. It I mentioned nothing about money. It is something internal. It is your character. It is a part of the thing that we really should be judging one another on. Is like those things, those intrinsic values that people will really have to be around you to see. They will have to get to know you to see, which is why I'm a proponent of slowing down when it comes to relationships and friendships and things of that nature and business connection. Slow down, build a relationship so you know who you're dealing with. And that way you can find out these things that we're talking about, that this person fits. This person fits in my world. Everyone is not going to fit in your world, but you know what? You'll have respect. And that is more than what you can ask for from anybody, right? Anybody. So contribute to the world everything you got. Number 7, that is your inner strength. All of this is pulling your inner strength. It is everything that you need to be able to get 1 through 6 involved in this whole thing, right? It is your inner strength. That inner strength is going to challenge you to overcome and reflect your resilience. It's going to help you in, affirming if, you are enough because you are, because you are. Everything I've been saying is that you are enough, and you'll have to rest in that and rest assured that you bring value. You are worthy. You, my dear, are enough. And anyone that doesn't like you at 100 proof, go elsewhere. Find somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. Right? Find somebody else. Drink something else. Drink it half proof because you're coming 100 proof. And that doesn't mean rudeness because rudeness is rudeness no matter where it's coming from, right? Dismissiveness is dismissiveness no matter where it's coming from because that's connected to rudeness. But being completely, in your strength and standing on business, right? This is what they say. I'm trying to use these words, okay, to connect with the youth and young people and young adults. Standing on business, and I can accept these words that affirm, that allow for us to step into who we are and utilize our inner strength. Those things that strengthen us make us greater people, make us great in our communities, make us greater, better fathers and mothers and aunties and uncles and cousins and friends and business associates and just individuals walking on the earth. All of these things will help cultivate your value and your worth and your self-worth and your personal growth, right? This is what we're trying to obtain. This is what we're trying to obtain. You are enough. And if you don't think you're enough, I think you may need to take a step back, get into prayer meditation, get into some counseling, find out, find out what is holding you back from understanding how worthy you are and how precious you are, how beautiful you are, and that you are enough because you are. This is Deanna. This is Inspired Perspectives. Listen, you're enough. Hit the like button, share. Let's communicate. Have a good one. See you on the next video.